defending. Let's cover defending for tomorrow. We defend from the front, okay? But the way we defend is very differently than how classically defenders would defend, okay? And we all need to understand there's a huge difference, and the way I want to play the game is rely on all you guys understanding the difference. Defending from the front means that you don't have to go and break down the ball. You don't have to run flat out and kill yourself. That's not what I'm looking for. If the forwards can break down some play up here, let's say we're in these positions, got a defensive three at the back. Now if these guys, Alex and Joel, tomorrow, they can go and break down a little bit of play up here, I'm happy to do that. But it's taxing, it's tiring, it's very, very difficult to play that way. Top teams like Man City and Liverpool, ultra fit players, they'll go and break down some play up here, and they'll start things happening before the ball gets back into their own half. Okay. Now, what we need, right? We need a team working together. That goes without saying. But one thing that we don't recognise and we haven't done yet at all is acknowledging what your teammates are doing and responding to your teammates. Currently, we just seem to be responding to the opposition and what they're doing. We need to respond to each other. So what I mean is, if Joel's out here breaking down a little bit of play, perhaps up in this corner, we need the three people around him to start acting responsibly. They need to see what's going on and they need to start acting straight away. If Joel's breaking down a bit of play and working his arse off and pressing this guy, perhaps there's two players here over here. Joel's come over to come and press this guy. It is not tolerable and acceptable that these two opposite players here have been given this much space. If Joel takes the initiative to start pressing the ball, ideally that initiative should have come from one of his other players. So perhaps, who we got here? We got Ollie Batty, Bad Belly Batty. If Ollie shouts at Joel, go press the ball, Joel should know that Ollie's got his back, which means that James needs to be switched on and see what the hell's going on and realise that he needs to get tight on this player. Not tight enough so that if this guy turns and starts running, he can't check it, but he needs to be tight on that player. He needs to be a couple of metres back, okay? I don't want him right up the back of the player. That's not what we want, because then you're only reacting to this guy's movements. You're not reacting to the movement of the ball. Okay, so we need him within a couple of steps distance of this man here. Don't chase him around the park, but just track him around from a couple of metres back. So that if Ollie has made that effort to go press the ball and this guy passes in here, this guy hasn't got time to turn on the ball and start running. If James allows this guy time to turn on the ball and start running, their whole team comes at us, okay? So we need to start responding to each other and see what we're up to and keep your head in the game. So what I'm asking for, I think is quite simple, is don't ball watch. Don't stand there staring at other people working. When you see this guy move, go and try and break down the ball. The three people around him, that's going to be Alex over here, Ollie here, James here. You guys need to stop this guy having an outlet. You need to stop him getting a pass out. I don't want us standing on the back of people. I'm much more interested in covering spaces. So these two guys here are going to work the ball and then they'll look for an outlet. There is no point this man chasing backs and forwards here, just wasting energy. It's not going to achieve anything. Highly unlikely you win the ball. Alex here would need to take an intelligent position between the possible passing options. So if we look at that again, and there's a possible passing option here, Alex needs to be taking this position. to prevent the pass from coming in, to prevent the pass from coming in this way. We are not, and I don't want to be, a man-to-man marking team, okay? Cut out the passes. Cut out the passes. Make sure you're close enough to this guy so that if this man passes the ball in here, you can break it down. Don't stand on him. Don't stand on him and follow him around the field all day, because all he'll do is turn and start running. Then we're tracking backwards. So take a slightly defensive position, close enough. You're just deeper than him. Deep enough position. If this guy passes there, you're going to go and close him down. Okay? We're not standing on him waiting for the pass to happen, because you've just uncovered all this area of the pitch. So they can have passes in this area if they want to. They can have those passes. I'm not asking you to go and break that down. I'm asking you to cut out passes, dangerous passes from these players into the midfield. Okay? If so, the ball gets a bit loose or guys are having a problem controlling the ball up here, and Joel can sneak in there and try and make a tackle, that's fine. I'm really happy for that, and that's great. That's how we should be playing. But then James needs to see that this is happening. Ollie needs to see that this is happening. Close up. And also Alex needs to see that that's happening. And so in groups of threes, twos, threes and four, we'll break play down that way. But do not stand on these players. Cut out passes. Okay? So that's the first thing about defending. I'd like to get across in their half of the pitch. As we start having to defend in our own areas of the pitch, we need to get our wing backs right back at that point. We need a line of five. Definitely, the moment they start entering into our part of the pitch, I want to see this line of five. If that means that James has to leave a marker, if there's a marker up here, I don't care, James, you fall back in. Same with you up there, Ray. I'm not asking you to mark him up there. Leave him alone. If he gets the ball, go and meet him. Go and slow him down. I'm not saying tackle him, I'm saying slow him down. If you lunge in and he goes past you, we got a big hole. We got a problem. So there's a big difference between defending deep in our half and then defending in their half of the pitch. The difference is we're trying to defend the ball from getting forward. We're trying to stop them penetrating into our half of the pitch by intelligently positioning ourselves between players. Okay? As they move in, I want to see this line of five at the back here. Our three in the middle will come and sit in front. We'll have our two forwards that have just been working up in these areas. They need to drop in. We need to be goal side of the ball. It will slowly start to compress back here. We'll have our three and our two. So by the time we are pressed up against our box back here, who's responsible for what? Well, depends where the ball is. Let's use this yellow marker as the ball. If the ball's on this side of the pitch, these three midfielders have to stay tight. So Joel needs to come and make the fourth man in midfield. Ollie will be responsible to start screaming at Joel. Joel, get your fucking ass back in here. Okay? You've got a line of five and a line of four and one outlet. This will be Alex over this side. He needs to come in here, make a bit of a nuisance for himself, okay? There is no point being over here. It's not going to achieve anything. That means a little bit of off-the-ball work, Alex. I know you don't like it, mate, but tough. You need to come and get involved. So if a little tackle gets put in here, you got the ball straight away. Okay? No point being over here. Come and get involved in the game. Come and defend. And we're compressed in here. We've got a line of five. Cole will call whether we're stepping up or not. Cole needs to be responsible for that. Unlikely at this point we're going to step anywhere because that gap in between there will be dangerous. You close that gap up and we've just got one long line and people are just going to hit balls over the top. So unlikely that we're going to be stepping up in those areas. What we're looking to do is to create that blockade of players along the pitch there, all within 5 metres of each other, keeping a tight line. Now, same on the other side. If the ball's on the other side over here, these boys are going to squeeze over. Alex drops in the back. Joel comes over here, gets involved in the game. So at this point, all we're looking for is just a little touch to try and get a little toe in, try and poke the ball forward. Nothing impressive. Get it to Joel, and then we'll have players screaming forward. So defending up here, we do it in a different way, but as we slowly move back towards our own goal, we will, in these areas, be real tight. And you will hear Carl at this point screaming at you. Okay, we will be super tight. Now these players can run around if they want, they can go over there, I don't care. I want Alex to stay there. Don't care if he's up here, leave him there, not bothered. If the ball should somehow ping its way around to him, then we go and meet him. We don't go and stand on him and follow him around the pitch. We keep our line, okay? Same anywhere in this area, absolutely anywhere. Keep your shape. We're going to see him out to the outside. This line needs to move up, okay? Keep the lines. They're going to look for the gaps in between these lines here. Now, because we're so tight, we're so close together, if somehow this guy should receive the ball in this position, it doesn't matter who's marking someone here or not, who's marking someone here or not. The two closest players go to the ball. You cut down the pass when you go to the ball anyway. So it doesn't matter if you're marking someone else in here. You don't leave this guy unattended with the ball. You go at him. By the very fact that you go at him quickly, you cut out the passing option for him. Okay? This will be James. James will start to fill in here, and other James will start to fill in there, so it'll start to compress over. Hopefully you can see that on the video. So what we're saying again is that in deep positions, I'm not looking for you to mark only a man. That's what I'm saying to you. You're not there only to mark your man. You're there to hold your line, mark the spaces. When the man in front of you, whoever he should be, receive the ball, you go and attack it, and you attack it fast. You read the game. When the ball pings in here, you read the very fact that it's coming in, and you go and attack it, the closest man to the ball. So you'll be aware that there's a man there, and you'll be wanting to go and stand on his toes. You'll be wanting to follow him around, but we do not follow him around. He can have that little bit of space if he wants it. You can't stop him having space. If you move up to him or move here, then you've got to move here, and eventually you'll end up with holes. If you follow this guy around, you just end up with a big hole. I'm not wanting holes. What I want is, when he gets the ball, we go and attack him. Without the ball, he can have that space if he wants it. Don't care. So we keep our two tight lines. We don't follow players around the pitch. We're aware that they're there. This guy might be out here. The ball's over here, right? And this guy might be out here. We've compressed over a little bit this way. We've shifted over because there's an awful lot happening in that area, and we've got to be aware that there's a number of players there. So the ball's over here with this guy. I don't give a monkeys that this guy is over here on the right side deep with no one covering him. What I want is that player in there. If somehow the ball should happen to go over there, everyone moves over. You go and attack it, and everyone moves. Does that leave someone at the back post? Yeah, it might. Again, I'm not bothered. He hasn't got the ball. Somehow, this guy's got to get the ball across a line of 5 across the back here and feed him the ball. It's not going to happen. You might drift something over the top. We've got a tall keeper, we've got 3 tall defenders. I don't mind. So shape and formation at the back is what I want. We'll defend tighter up here than we would at the opposite side of the pitch. We'll defend tighter, but you still allow them the space and then go and break it down. Do not follow the mark, do not follow these guys around the pitch. Let them work, let them move, just keep your eyes on. You should be in positions where you can see what's happening with the ball. You face your hips towards between the ball and the player, so you can see both ways. Constantly checking your shoulder. Keep this line. Carl will be screaming at you, and then when it's time to go get the ball, you act fast. I need you to read the game. So that's quite different from up here, yeah? And hopefully that's very clear. It's the same with the midfield. I don't want these guys getting pulled out all over the place, chasing balls all over the place and being disjointed. We hold our shape. If the ball pops out there, we're expecting Joel to go over and get it. If the ball pops in here, Joel needs to come and work. Alex is there. Keep your shape. If the ball comes out to the side, it's fine. Joel, go and apply some pressure. Joel needs to work in these zones around here when we're defending. So Joel will be coming in there. Same for Alex. Working in those areas. Okay. So the forwards need to be part of this system. The forwards don't get an easy ride. I know what forwards are like, I was one. Oh, well, perhaps if I can just walk around a little bit, my legs will recover, I'll have a bit more pace. I'll skin them next time. I'll get them, I'll show them. If I can just walk about a little bit longer, with my hands on my hips, waiting for the ball, I'll score a goal. Not in my team, mate. You need to come and work. So Joel gets in here and works. If it's on the other side, over here, Alex gets in there and works. What tends to happen in these areas is someone gets a toe poke, it pops out here, and we're away, Alex is on the ball. Okay, so that's our defensive 5 at the back. It's our defensive 4 in the midfield, all nice and tight. Keep your shape, don't get pulled out of position, hold your shapes. When the man closest to you's got the ball, go and get it. What we'll tend to find is at that point that they're finding it very, very difficult to break through our lines. It will be tough and challenging. They'll probably end up with a situation whereby they've got their 3 defenders, the ball's in here, okay, and we've got a line of 4. Joel will swing over, Alex is in there working as well, perhaps. And you'll find that they'll have 3 defenders, one will try and sneak in around the back here, which will leave 2 on 1 up in this kind of position. By the pure fact that there's those 3 guys there means that we are outnumbering them in these areas. They won't leave 1 on 1 up here. So we are outnumbering them at the back. It means that we're going to find opportunities when 2 of us can attack the ball. This guy's got the ball. We've shifted over. It means that two players can go and attack this ball. And that's eventually where I want to get to. The team needs a lot more understanding and reading of each other and reading of the game so that we instantly react. And when we start reacting quicker, and we've got numbers on our side because we've got this situation here, it means that we've got greater numbers in deep, and when we get there, if we can read the game properly, 2 players can go and attack the ball. That's where we want to be. This guy is covered, don't go and stand on his toes, but this guy is covered. If he does something clever and manages to get the ball to this guy, we go and get it. Keep the shape. I don't think that's all going to happen tomorrow. What I think is going to happen is that Carl is going to demand that we maintain our line of 5. Carl would, I think, rather we go and stand on people's toes. But I don't want to do that. I want to give them enough space so if we have to shift quickly, everyone moves over and we're happy to change men. Part of the problem with man marking is that it's only as good as your weakest man. If one of these guys is faster than one of our men, when it comes to this guy having the ball and pushing forward, if he's faster, he'll just run round him. That's the problem with man marking. we're not going to man mark. We're going to be happy to move on, and everyone shift over. We're still aware that there's men there, and we are aware of who would be our man if he had the ball, because we'd be closest to him. So we're going to be happy to shift our markers and move around. It means that we have to be really switched on, and we have to have good communication to make sure that the men are picked up if they should receive the ball. But I think we're intelligent enough to do it, but we're not fit enough to follow people around the park all day. So we're intelligent enough to know who would be our man if needed, if he had the ball and we had to go and slow him down. But we're not fit enough to follow players around the field all day, and I'm not prepared to do that. We hold shape and format. So those few words there should show you the style of play that we're trying to get used to. That's defending. It's already said quite a lot there. And we will move on to another video shortly with some attacking play. So defending done, be back soon.